I think it started.
Yeah, I'm waiting for the YouTube to react.
To react?
Yes, it always takes like half a minute to show up. I don't know why.
Oh, okay. I hope your internet is going to be stable.
Okay, what are we drawing today?
I am going to be doing a design for another channel that we're trying to do on Honey Badger Radio called Honey Badger Arcade. And it's going to be like, when people do streams, sometimes they'll have imagery or they'll have their webcam on the screen or they'll have logos or something. I'm going to make something that goes around like a frame for the screen that's going to resemble an old arcade machine. So if you've ever, used an old arcade cabinet
Yeah.
and you stick it on the screen, they have the artwork around the outside. It's going to be like that. That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to have it all badgery.
I'm just doing one of my Monster Girls page for the webcomic.
Good, good. See the ant people? Or the ant girls? How many pages into your webcomic have you already made? I know that's probably asking a lot.
This one is more or less new, so it only have about 30 pages. But I have other webcomics with about 500 pages.
Okay. Yeah, wow, that's... And how long did it... I know you do this as a job now. How many pages did it take before you started, like, where you could make a living? Like, how long do you know you drew until that happened?
I don't think I can yet make a living of the webcomic, but I think maybe about a year ago or more than a year ago, I began to take it more seriously.
Mm-hmm. So, um, so how long were you drawing before you started taking it seriously then?
It's going to make 4 years in December, the first comic I did.
Ah. Well, that's, yeah, not that bad.
But ironically, is the one that less people read.
Which one? This one? The monster one?
This is more or less, yeah. Some people read this one, but I have the long one is one is called Guile Adventure, and it's more based on the Monster Hunter games. Yeah, I have a lot of readers from the Monster Hunter game, but no more than that. I mean, only Monster Hunter players read that comic.
Oh, yeah, okay. All right. You gotta do a little research.
Have you watched the South Park episode? The latest
Oh
one?
my God, yes. It was so good.
Yeah.
It was brilliant. I wonder. I'm waiting for the reaction. I'm curious about what the butt hurt's going to be like.
I have seen some of it, and there's too much salt out there.
Yes.
The pity is I shared the chapter in the episode in my Facebook, but in Spain people don't even know what a safe space is.
Well,
Not
yeah.
over here. Well, maybe in some feminist groups do that, but it's not something. It's not extended.
Yes. It's pretty. It's pretty. It was really good. I like the song and reality. The reality villain.
I like how the way they make all the stuff. They compare it to the children dying in
Hey,
Africa.
yes.
It's like all your problems are stupid compared to this.
That's so good. We have any people watching?
Let's see. There's 4 people.
Oh, that's more than last time.
Yeah, probably.
It is.
And there's one saying, "Do Hawkeye fighting a mob of angry feminists?" No, Hawkeye will join the feminists. It's the Hawkeye initiative.
No, actually, no. Jeremy Renner is the actor who plays Hawkeye, and he recently was in an interview. He was the one. He said he was doing an interview a while before Age of Ultron came out, and in the interview they asked him about Black Widow's relationship with Bruce Banner or something, and he made a joke and said that Black Widow is a big slut, and the internet got well, feminists on the internet got really mad, and he was a bit incredulous. So he said, "I don't get it. She's a fictional character, you know." Chris Evans, who plays Captain America, he apologized, but Jeremy Renner said, "I'm not apologizing for something I didn't do wrong."
Yeah, and I think it was today he has said, the Jennifer Lawrence thing, the
Yeah,
pay gap, and he has said that he's not going to help actress woman to get more money because it's not his job.
yeah, exactly. So yeah, I could see why the fan is saying you should draw a Hawkeye fighting feminists, because Jeremy Renner doesn't have any fucks to give.
And it was when I think it was I don't know if it was the director of the movie. They released all the data on how many money Jennifer Lawrence got,
Yeah.
and she made more than the males.
Oh, she makes, yeah. She was the same article, or not an article, but the same media source that said she was underpaid had done a report earlier that year saying that she was the most paid. So you can tell journalism. This is journalism 2015. They don't really, they're not consistent at all.
Yeah, if they all fell for the boycott Star Wars thing.
Oh my God, yes. so so hard.
It was like the fucking most obvious thing ever. Seriously. And the first time I saw that was a friend who is a social justice warrior,
Yeah,
and he was sharing it, and he was totally believing it. Like, oh, these people, they are racist, and man,
yeah,
that's a lie. It's trolling.
yeah. They bought it like completely. There were friends of mine that were so convinced that white people are inherently racist that when they found out that this had happened, um, and I told them that that it was a troll and a hoax. And even after I told them that it was a hoax and that some of the people who started the hashtag were black themselves, they told me, no, that's impossible. Impossible that black people would have trolled themselves with this. Why would they do that? Why would they be racist against their own race? And I said, but they're not being racist. They're trying to make you mad.
That's what trolling is.
Yeah, it's a science.
And it was extremely easy to know if it was true or not. You just had to go to the hashtag.
Yeah.
There's no, you don't need to do anything else than that.
And it's like incredibly obvious.
But I think the problem is probably a widespread problem in the internet that people has grown lazy and never double check anything.
Yep.
It's I think the main problem with feminists today maybe that feminists makes these memes with the 99% of domestic violence is made by men, and
Yeah.
they don't add any source, but nothing happens. I mean, people just see the meme and they believe it. And that's it.
No, it's true. And yes, they don't check their sources. They stop as soon as something sounds like it satisfies their bias already. And I think also they're more interested in stories that will create more outrage than stories that are more true, because they could. While I mean, even the Daily Show, the Daily Show with um, Trevor Noah. He's the new host. It used to be Jon Stewart for a long time, and he was always doing this kind of like um, it's like a fake news show, and this guy does like this anti right wing, taking the piss out of the right kind of comedy. And Jon Stewart left because he's been doing it for a long time and he wanted to do something else. So Trevor Noah is this kid from South Africa who's a comedian, and he happens to be black, and they gave him the role. And even then, when I heard that they were going to give it to him, I knew that he was going to do a bunch of stories, race related, because if you get someone who's black to do the story, then you have to take it more seriously. So as soon as this happened, they had him report on it on the Daily Show, and I guess he made jokes at the expense of the racists supposedly. But the funny thing is that again, it's just trolls. You're just giving them attention. Why are you giving them attention? Don't do it, because you're not. They don't care. You're just giving them what they want.
Yeah, the best way to deal with them is just not respond.
Yep. I mean, that's what trolls do. They don't. They just want to get you mad, and if you give into your anger, I mean, this is about Star Wars. You're not supposed to give into your hatred. That's the whole point. That's the path to the dark side.
Do you think the new villain is Luke Skywalker?
Um, there's a lot of people saying it, and I think because of that, I'm gonna say no. If it is, that's gonna be the laziest writing I've ever seen.
Yeah, but that is the problem. It's Hollywood. They are lazy. I mean, there's a lot of times that I have, guessed the entire story of a movie before watching the movie, and then I have said, no, that's too obvious.
No, I've done the same thing. I've done the same thing, especially with M. Night Shyamalan. But I've done that too, where I've said, "Oh, I bet it's this," and then it turns out to be that. And it's like, man, I should not have been. I should not have been right. What happened to movies that catch you off guard? It might be, but it seems like that would kill. If they do that, I think that would be the death of the franchise. Period. That would be the worst idea. Like, really the worst.
Well, they did it in the comics.
Yeah, I heard about that. But from what I understand, this is not canon. Like the comics are not, you know.
Yeah, it was supposed to be canon until Spielberg said,
Until they
Lucas
decided
said,
to,
no.
or Disney decided to make the movies, which is funny because a lot of the fans wanted it to be canon. Um, I don't know. I think there's no matter what happens, the new Star Wars is gonna make people angry because it's just the nature of fans. You can never make them happy. There'll always be some that are just
Well,
not getting enough
it
of it.
looks better than the Lucas ones,
Oh yeah,
but I'm not really too interested in watching the movie.
yeah. I mean, I think that Star Wars movies they're fun, but what I think that they're ultimately a product of their generation. So I'm older. So for me, the Star Wars movies is the original films because that's the ones when I was a little kid I saw. When I became old enough, well, when the prequel movies came out, Phantom Menace and stuff, I watched them, but I don't think they're as good. But little kids that saw the Phantom Menace and those movies, like little children that saw those, that's their movies. So they grew up like they like, they even like Jar Jar Binks. I even, like even Jar Jar Binks, yes. And I think that this is going to be a product of the next generation. So the little kids that watch the prequels, their kids are going to watch these movies. And chances are that unless J.J. Abrams like does something amazing with them, which I think that's asking a lot. They're the young kids that grew up on the Phantom Menace that are now adults and their children are watching the Force Awakens, and their grandparents that watched, A New Hope and Empire Strikes Back. They're probably not going to be thrilled with Force Awakens because it's aimed at a. I'm guessing it's going to appeal to the youngest generation. That's what I think, anyway.
Yeah, that's a problem I see a lot lately, especially in anime, that uh, people try to watch the same things they watched 15 years ago, but
Yeah.
they don't have the same age. So if something changes, it's bad because it's not the same. But if they do the same, uh, it's bad anyways because they don't like it because they are older.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, because we were doing a show this week with a guy who's the same age as me. I'm 42, and we were talking about anime because we had a letter. Someone was asking about magical girl anime, and we didn't really watch them. Um, Although I don't have a problem with magical girl anime. I mean, I watched some like a few things like Rye Earth and Sailor Moon and stuff. But you know, my co-host, he brought up an old anime from my time called Doomed Megalopolis, because we were talking about how somebody said that this one, I think it's called Madoka or something. I can't remember the name exactly.
Madoka Magica.
Yeah, Madoka Magica. I think that's it. He said it was very like the guy who wrote the letter said, "Oh, it's it's very gory. It's very bloody." And my co-host said, "Oh, you mean like Doomed Megalopolis bloody?" And that movie or that anime series is, it's very dark. Doomed Megalopolis. I mean, you can see that in the name. Um, and we were trying to figure out if it was on the same level, because a lot of, and I'm not saying it's not, but I know that a lot of old anime from like the 80s was extremely bloody. Like they didn't care. There was hardly at least the stuff that got imported here to the United States, because I think that in Europe, like in Italy and maybe Spain, you guys had access to more anime than we did. We didn't actually start getting into it, and as far as a market, it didn't become a market really until the 90s.
I
Before
I would
that, you.
say we have access to more kid anime. Like
I'm sorry.
we have access to more kid anime, but only that. I mean, we had Dragon Ball, Saint Seiya, and things like that for 15 years old.
Hmm.
But over there you had like more adult animes like Robotech and Gundam and all that stuff.
Yeah. So okay. So yeah. So I didn't know that. You guys have more kid anime. I
Yeah,
would have thought.
it's almost, and even today, almost only the only anime that gets to the television here is kid anime.
Oh well, yeah. I mean, it's as far as the stuff that gets to the television, we the best we can do is like whatever makes it to Adult Swim, and that's sometimes that can be darker. Um, Although it's often uh, more like the kiddie stuff. But we do occasionally get like some of the adult stuff. But what about the stuff that you can buy, like the DVD, like Blu-rays and stuff, or do you not even know because you download everything?
Yeah, I don't buy much, but I think we don't get more adult stuff in DVDs, but we don't get a lot. There's a problem in Spain. mm, okay, you have how is the when you change the language of an how is that?
Subtitles?
No, in voice.
Oh,
Dub,
dubbing.
no? Dubbing, yes.
Yeah.
You have dubbing, but you have the movies and all that you have in with the original language too, right?
Yeah.
We don't have that because when the dictator Franco was in charge, he forbid for Spanish people to watch material in other language than Spanish.
Mm.
So we didn't have any dub. So now people is so accustomed to that and is totally incapable of reading subtitles and anything. So the only way to bring an anime here is with dub, and that increase the price a lot. So
Yeah.
they don't bring much anime because the price is higher than in other places.
Oh, I see. Well, that is a problem. I was just wondering if it was political, in terms of its roots.
Yes, it's like a mix. It was political at first, and now it's just that people don't know anything else than that. They just can't watch a movie with subtitles. They can't. There is no. I think there's only one cinema in Spain with subtitles. Everything else is dubbed.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why I don't go to the cinema.
Yeah, no, I could understand that. Um,
And the funny thing is that for a long time, the dub to Spanish was made in France.
what?
Yeah, the Spanish dubs were made in France until like 15 years ago or something like that. The French did our Spanish movies.
Yeah, it's crazy.
They are asking if we have seen One Punch Man.
I've seen some clips. It looks pretty crazy.
It's very good. I mean, I follow the manga, and it's very good. And the anime, they have made a very good adaptation. Well, it has some bad things like they change some things that I didn't like, but overall the animation is very good. It's very bloody.
Yeah, is it? It's that's that is that would you say that's manly?
Yeah, the anime, yeah.
um,
It's a satire really. It's a The main character is a satire of all these shonen characters that are always the stronger.
that's what I thought. I mean, about on the show too about anime that is trying to, you know, it's sort of like a parody, or I don't know if parody is the right word, but um, a deconstruction, if you know what that means,
Yeah,
a deconstruction of a genre. So they might, like I think that Madoka Magica, they were saying that's like a deconstruction of the magical girl.
I don't really. I mean, it's the thing with Madoka. I read Madoka, and I didn't watch it entirely because I grew bored of it.
Yeah,
The thing is, the attractive that everyone sees in Madoka is that it's a magical girl, but people die and there's blood. But that's nothing new.
no, it's not really. And well, that's what I was thinking, like how, if it's been done before, then how is it a how is it a deconstruction? How is it a twist? And is something that's a deconstruction or a satire, does it really pay respect or homage to the genre, or is it kind of like turning its nose up at it and snubbing it? Is it saying that this isn't very good for these reasons, or this is a stale genre for these reasons, or is it saying we like this genre so much we want to make fun of it, but in a way that is like the way Weird Al Yankovic does parody songs,
Yeah,
where
yeah. I think it depends in the work. Like, I mean, the One Punch Man is an example. I think what One Punch Man do is okay when you are young, when you have 15, 18, you want the main character of the anime to be the stronger, and because you want to be like him, all that. But
yeah, sure.
when you grow up, you get tired of that. I mean, I don't like main characters who are the fucking stronger and that's it. I don't like that now because I have 32. So what One Punch Man do is like, okay, it's at seinen, so it's for people of my age, and what it does is like making that thing notorious. Like it's not like saying shonen is bad. It's just you watch shonen and now you have grown up, so you watch One Punch Man.
Yeah, yeah, it's like that was the reason why and I mean I still like have a an admiration for it, but that's the reason why I stopped watching Dragon Ball Z. After a while, I was just like getting bored of the whole, um, here comes a new enemy and he's stronger than everybody else, and we need to stop him. Well, Goku, why don't you become stronger than this guy? Especially in the movies, it was like a formula, and I got bored because I was like, okay, I know what's going to happen. He's going to go.
Yeah.
He's either going to get really mad and become stronger, or he's going to train and become stronger. But either way, he's going to become stronger. And it's always comes down to, even though you have, in Dragon Ball Z, even though you have all these other characters, it just comes down to Goku. Though at the end of the day, like you're never going to see a movie where Piccolo is the one that wins. I mean, that's never going to happen. So that never, like, ever. So um and that predictability makes it boring.
Yeah, I have always said that I like Dragon Ball because nostalgia. I
Sure.
watched it with 10 years, so I have that memory, and then I like it. But if I had never watched Dragon Ball and the series was out today, I will not even watch it.
Hmm.
And I think the new series, the Dragon Ball Super, it reflects something of what we were saying, because there's like a lot of people saying, oh, the series suck because the battles are too slow and the animation is not very good. And I think that series is exactly the same as the original Dragon Ball series, and that's the reason why people don't like it, because they don't have the age when they watched the series the first time.
Yeah.
The original series is extremely slow. It's very, very, very slow.
Oh, it is.
So when I see people saying, "No, the Dragon Ball Super is slow," yeah, it is.
So people are not realizing that it always was.
Yeah, and I have a lot of discussions with people, saying me, "Oh, the animation in the original series was better, even in the Freezer saga." And you put one video of the Freezer saga and one video of the Dragon Ball Super, and Super is 100 times better, even in its worst chapter.
Hmm. Yeah, nostalgia is can really distort people's um, views because
Did you watch the Saint Seiya? You have seen Saint Seiya?
I have seen a little bit of it.
That's a series that I liked it when I was young, and I tried to watch it like 10 years ago, and I couldn't. It's impossible. I mean, it's awfully bad.
Yeah. No, yeah, I know what you mean. Uh, I'm looking at what the chat's saying. It takes so long for the characters to come out. They're redrawing it from the original web comic. There's a web comic
We're coming from what?
for, for new chapters to come out.
Of
I'm
what?
not sure. I'm looking to see. Oh, they're talking about one. I guess One Punch Man is a web comic.
No, no, it's a manga,
No, I thought so. Yeah,
but
maybe they're talking about something else. I apologize, chat. I'm not.
scanlations.
It's what?
Scanlations.
Oh, okay. Um, I will put the letters at the top. I think I got this. Excuse me. All right, and I'll put something over here. I don't know what.
Hmm.
What?
It seems that someone knows the name of Saint Seiya in Spanish in the chat. We changed the name, and here is Knights of the Zodiac.
Yes, Knights of the Zodiac. Yes, that's what they call it here in the States too.
Hmm.
When it was on for a little while on TV. We also had there was another show that was kind of similar. It was like, because Saint Seiya is sort of like the boy equivalent of Sailor Moon, right? Where you have these guys and they,
Hmm.
they call on this armor and they fight just like it's sort of like that, like a male version. And there was another one called in Japan. It was called Samurai Troopers, and it was like it's almost like a cross between uh, um, a magical girl show and a uh, um, Sentai, which the Sentai is like
Yeah,
Power Rangers.
Power
Yeah,
Rangers. And
yeah, it's sort of a cross between those two things. And in this, but they called it. It was weird because in Japan they called it Samurai Troopers, and that's not a bad name for a show. If they would have just called it the same thing, it would be the same. But when they brought it over here in the States, they decided to call it Ronin Warriors, which is the same. It means almost the same thing, except that Ronins don't have a mask. They don't have a lord, and samurais do. And I remember my brother, my little brother, he was really into Ronin Warriors and Knights of the Zodiac or Saint Seiya, because I was a little bit older and I was getting a little like I liked it for the art because we were finally getting a lot of anime here, but I didn't really um, watch too much of it. Go on.
if you want crazy names in Spain, we change the name of everything. Like half the movies here have completely different names and animes, and like Captain Tsubasa,
Yes.
here the name is Oliver and Benji, and the Oliver is Tsubasa, and Benji is the goalkeeper that is his rival in the first season.
Mm-hmm.
So we have very strange names for things here.
Yeah, it's always weird when you see that.
Like we have there's a common name like almost every humor movie that comes from Hollywood here is called something and If You Can. So the Leslie Nielsen movie, the one that you reviewed, the airplane, I think it is.
Mm-hmm.
Here is Land If You Can.
Land if you can.
Yeah, and then the movie in which he is a spy is Spy If You Can, etc. With all his movies, all Leslie Nielsen movies are like that. Like I think it's Police If You Can, no, Arrest If You Can, or like that. Every single one of them.
Arrest if you can.
Captain Tsubasa was big in France. Yeah. Mm. One funny thing about Captain Tsubasa in Spain is that the opening in Spanish for Captain Tsubasa, it's a plagiarism of uh, that's the word plagiarism.
I'm not sure what that.
When you copy something,
Oh,
plagiarism.
plagiarism.
Yeah,
Plagiarism.
yes, it's that of the Italian opening of Lupin the Third. It's a very funny thing. And I think it's because it was we didn't buy the rights to the Japanese. The Italians and the French did, and then we bought the rights from the Italians.
Yeah.
What program are you using? I'm using Clip Studio Paint, also known as Manga Studio.
Adobe Malashop.
Mail shop.
Good lords. I'm using Paint Tool Sci. It's a very low resource heavy program, and the only reason why is because I'm using my laptop and not my main computer. I would be using Manga Studio as well, but kind of stuck with this. It's not bad though. I can get the job done. It just doesn't have as many features as Manga Studio by a lot.
Well, the Photoshop, according to feminists, Photoshop would be a men-raised program because you can make women smile.
Yes.
I'm going to play.
Yeah, exactly. You can make women smile.
Saint Seiya is gay. It was a little, yes. Especially,
Well,
I mean, one of the guys have breast in the armor,
yeah.
and pisces. We
Well,
were
some of them were prettier than others, right?
I mean, you can be a lot of manly when you have an attack with roses. That's pretty gay. And even so, they were like very ripped. They didn't look like 15 years old. They look at least like 20 or 20 something.
The all Saint Seiya characters. Yeah, I don't know how they were supposed to be. It was pretty ambiguous.
No, they say they have 15 years old or 14 or 15.
What? That's how you know it's a aimed at boys. They make the boys like that are really young look like adults.
Now it's the opposite. You have all the guys look very, very, very young.
Yes. Isn't that what they call moe?
Boy.
Moe shit. Is what everybody says. I'm not. That was when I stopped watching. I almost completely stopped watching anime because all of it was looking the same. Around the time of what's that one? It was. I think it was called The Melancholy of something. I can't remember what it's called, but it had opened up with that really catchy song, and the characters were all dancing. I don't know if you know what I'm talking about.
That's like half anime.
Yeah, exactly. They were all like that, and that's what I mean. Like they were, it was like I don't know. It was like all of them were like this.
Yeah, but I think that always happens. Like there's a meme when they show what's the style every 10 years or 5 years in anime. And it's true. That's like when Slayers came out, all animes look like Slayers.
Yes.
So there's like a style every 10 years. and not all animation studios do the same styles. Like One Punch Man is very different in the animation, and the style is, I don't know, it's very different to Moe. It's more like
No.
uh, Fist of the North Star.
Yes.
That's
But
the style of One Punch Man.
Yes. When Fists of the North Star came out, though, there wasn't much like Fists of the North Star, was there? I remember some that they would take a slightly more realistic approach to the art, but the only one that looked similar was well, there were like a couple of them, but like there was JoJo, which was inspired, but that was clearly inspired by it. And then there was Crying Freeman, but even that was the same artist, the same artist as Fist of North Star.
I think at that age, that was the norm. I mean, that was the kind of style, like Ninja Scroll and all that.
Mm-hmm. Ah, yes. Love Ninja Scroll. So good. You know that the studio that makes those, they made Ninja Scroll, Vampire Hunter D Bloodlust, Wicked City, Biohunter, a bunch of other ones. Apparently, they spend a lot of money on the shows, like on their movies, but they usually end up losing money. The director because they cost them so much to make the show.
Yeah, that happens a lot.
It's almost the reason why they don't you don't see that much work from them anymore.
And that's because some of it is because of piracy. Like anime is one of the things when piracy has really make damage.
Yeah.
Like everyone watch anime, but in the internet. No one buys the Blu-ray.
No, and that's actually kind of unfortunate too, because some series they want to get renewed, and I think they usually say, oh well, we need if we can get enough Blu-ray sales. Unfortunately, that almost never I mean, I guess they find some other way to make money, but it turns out that they don't they end up struggling a lot to get their sales in.
What they are doing now is they make in ecchi animes at least, well in gory animes too, they make the TV version more like safe for work, and then the Blu-ray is totally not safe for work.
Yes. Yes. Or yeah, the TV version will be edited out, and then they'll make where people can buy the more violent one. Because the only one I watch right now, and I should make more time to watch other ones I have in my queue, but the only one I was watching was JoJo. But in that one, all the violence is blacked out, and it's so like it's just like a black spot. It makes it unwatchable almost, especially because JoJo's really violent. And then if you buy the the Blu-ray, they actually and they actually redraw some of the frames, so you end up with something that's even more gory than before they edit it out. And the funny thing is, I guess in Japan, you can't show underage children smoking. So there are scenes where the main character is smoking a cigarette and they black it out. So it looks like there's a shadow on his face, so you can't even see him smoking.
That was very bad in Terraformers. You know what manga is that?
Terraformers, you said?
Terraformers.
Oh, yeah. I had never seen it, but I know about it.
Yeah, don't watch the anime. The manga, it's very good. I mean, the drawings are kinda, yeah, like, well, no, not JoJo because JoJo is very crazy, but more like anime. And it's the kind of story where you don't know who's gonna die or live. Like, yeah, it's technically some characters that are the main characters, but they can die. And the manga is very good, but then they did the anime and they put black bars in everything. So there's these things in which half the fucking image is black bars. It's horrible.
I need a refill. I'm gonna go get a coffee refill. I'll be right back.
Okay. Anime today is about guys who fuck their sisters. I don't know. I don't think I have watched anything like that. I think there's far more yaoi than that.
All right, I'm back. Anybody in the chat saying anything funny?
There's one saying that anime today is guys fucking their sisters.
Yeah.
I don't think I have watched an anime in which that happens. But hentai, but not normal anime.
Well, technically that's anime.
There is very good hentai anyways. Like, it's not like for being hentai it has to be bad.
Mm-hmm.
One of my favorite animes is hentai. Well, and more game than anime, the Fate Stay Night.
That's a hentai?
The original game is hentai.
Fate Stay Night?
Yeah. The anime series for Fate Stay Night is extremely safe for work. Like they don't even say the characters have sex. It's, touch their hands and that's it.
Yeah.
There's not even a mention of it. And there's some parts in which it's relevant for the story that the characters had sex for some reasons.
Okay. Well, it's not exactly the same, but there's there's anime out there that and games that look like they should be hentai, but they're not. They just get really close. Or maybe they do it. I think they do it on purpose so that people will want it to be a hentai. We do a lot of on the Gamergate show. We've done a lot of stories about the game Senran Kagura.
Yeah,
talking about because it gets a lot of attention, and the company that makes it, Exceed, they're very anti-censorship, which is good. But feminists hate those games, and I know why. I mean, it's obvious. It's like Queen's Blade. Do you remember Queen's Blade?
Yeah, Queen's Blade.
Yes. That was that there was a game that was a game before it was an anime.
Yeah.
That. And it was actually pretty fun. It was like these books that you had to buy. But anyway, yeah. So I think that it actually with the things like properties like Senran and Kagura, which I never played it. I don't have any portable systems. I think it's only available on portable systems. Everyone tells me the story is really good, and I it's not that I don't believe them. I just wonder, like
There's
just
a lot of animes with ecchi and stuff like that, and they are very good. It's like I think there's too much people. The people do too much. The game has ecchi, so it has to be bad. Or the anime has ecchi, it has to be bad. And that's stupid. I mean, the fan service is just an element that you can use. You can use it good, or you can use it bad.
yeah.
So, for example, there's a lot of people who tell me, "Oh, you must like Monster Musume because I draw monster girls, and Monster Musume is monsters." But I don't like Monster Musume because it's 99% fan service and nothing else. It doesn't have story. The characters doesn't have personality. It has nothing. It's just ecchi. Nothing more. So I don't like it. But then you pick, for example, Gate, the anime Gate. It's very good, and it has some scenes of in the bathroom with the girls. But
Yeah.
they did it. They do it in the right time. They do it in measure, and the anime is very good in the story.
So then, um, yeah, if it's got a really good story, it's okay if it's got like some etchy scenes in it. What about? I was just gonna say, there was one that I was just thinking about. So Monster Musume, I never watched it, but apparently it. So you're saying it doesn't really have a story?
No, it doesn't have any story at all. No, seriously, it's like every chapter is just they are in the house, and there's some excuse for the girls to fall to the ground and show their boobs and the panties,
Mm-hmm.
and I grow tired of that, so I started to count how many time passed between erotic scenes. 30 seconds is the most time without erotic scene is 30 seconds.
Mm-hmm. 30 seconds?
30 seconds.
Wow. So it's just constant stimulation, basically.
Yeah.
And then, like, if you're gonna do that, why don't you just make it an hentai? I guess this way you can get more, um, people to watch.
Well, I think the
You get a
original.
younger audience if it's
I
not.
haven't read the manga, but I think the manga is hentai.
Oh, really?
I think, or the author did a hentai with monster girls before, or something like that. But this is a hentai author.
Yeah, I can see that.
Well, but that's not bad, anyways. I mean, Fate Stay Night is hentai.
Yeah.
It's one of the best stories I have seen in an anime. It's very good story. Well, more the game because the anime left out 1,000 of things, and you don't understand half what is happening. There's an anime now, Valkyrie Drive.
Yeah.
There's two chapters only, and the anime is um, pairs of girls with powers. One is a warrior, and the other is the weapon. And to transform into the weapon, they have to be sexually excited. So it's very etchy.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I'm still watching it because it seems it's going to have a story. It seems like it, at least for the moment. The centaur
Okay.
girl has huge
Oops.
teeth. Yeah, she has.
Who?
In the chat, they are saying that the centaur girl in Monster Musume has huge teeth.
Oh yeah,
She has.
she does. I mean, I didn't even watch it, but like whenever I come across, because it's everywhere, it's kind of hard to, avoid even if you were trying, just because everyone's talking about it. That's the first thing I noticed.
Yeah, and that's one thing I don't really like. I don't know. For one part, I like that the anime has gotten famous because that means it's going to be more works with Monster Girls, and I like that. But on the other hand, it's showing an image of the Monster Girls that I don't really like. Like now, people probably think that if you like Monster Girls, it means you only like boobs and nothing else.
Yeah, right. So it takes away from what people might get like out of like from it, like the genre, or whatever. Um, oh man, it's bugging me because I was gonna ask you something. I can't remember what it was. It was about another anime. Are you gonna do Gamergate Life? What are you gonna do it about? Do you have any idea yet?
I did one a couple of days ago, so I don't have any idea right now. I think, I don't know, there's nothing really big happening right now, I think, in this week.
Yeah.
There has been a couple of stupid things, like always, like, the Uncharted thing.
What happened with the Uncharted thing?
Uh, games journalists, they made a review of Uncharted 4, and they say, the game looks very old and is the same as always. And they discovered that they were truly making a review of the HD version of Uncharted 2.
Huh.
And they say they were fans of the saga. I mean, how? I mean, if you are a fan, you have played the 2.
If you're a fan of the series and you're reviewing it for people who are fans of the series, I mean, why wouldn't you consider that people who are fans of the series would? That's what they want, right? I mean, I like the Uncharted games, and I don't know. For me, that's the point. Trying to see where I can squeeze another character in here. I got to put the logo at the top, though. So let me see. I don't know that there's much else I can do.
You watched the Royal Trap thing?
The what?
The Royal Trap.
No, I don't know. I'm sorry. I don't know what
It's
that is.
okay. There's a Humble Bundle,
Who?
The Humble Bundle.
Mm,
It's a page where you can buy games for $1.
oh no, I did not know that.
But they do like bundles of games, and you pay $1 and you have the games. They are doing one. I think right now it's up. One of the games is an indie game, and it's called The Royal Trap. And the game is about the royalty. I mean, it's trap. It doesn't make any reference to people trap.
Yeah.
It's trap in the ground. I mean, I don't know how to explain that.
The Royal Trap. Is that what you're saying?
It doesn't have anything to do with traps on people, and the social justice warriors attack the game and say, it's transphobic because it has trap in the name.
Oh God.
And in the end, he changed the name of the game.
Really?
Yeah.
People, why do you cave into these bullies?
Capcom bundle. Yeah, they are talking about the Humble bundle in the chat too. Yeah, they have a bundle of Capcom games right now, and it's very good.
What's the Capcom bundle? What's in it?
Resident Evil 4, the 5, Revelations 1, the first part of the Revelations 2, Remember Me, Striker or Strider or something like that.
Strider.
There's Lost Planet 3. There was something else. The Devil May Cry, the last one.
Oh, the reboot
DMC.
one?
The DMC.
Yeah, okay.
Uh,
I know my opinion's unpopular, but actually, I didn't play all of those. But some of the ones that people were really hating on, I actually liked those games. Like, I liked Resident Evil 5. I had a lot of fun with it. I played it co-op with my friend from beginning to end. We played through multiple times and unlocked everything. I think that when you're playing with someone else and you let go of the survival horror, it's not a survival horror thing. It hasn't been, really since not even Resident Evil 4 is the one everyone loves. In the beginning, that one is like a survival horror, but when you get towards the end, it just becomes like a Michael Bay action movie anyway. And 5 is the same way. It starts off and it's got some creepy parts, but it's it's still just an action movie. And like before long, you're in the back of a Jeep shooting at zombies on motorcycles. And if you let go of that whole, like, I wish it was as creepy as Resident Evil 1 or, Resident Evil 2 was, if you let go of that and just have fun, I think it's a good, fun game. I liked 5. I had fun with my friend. But I think you have to play co-op because I didn't play single player at all because I heard, well, not only would I not just because I'm not interested, but I also heard the AI is, really annoying. Because Shiva is always, using your supplies for any reason, and if you can avoid it, I would just avoid it. But
I think the Resident Evil games are not survival horror anymore, but people is not fair anyways because you can't. It's not the same age. I mean, you can't make the same. If you make something like the first Resident Evil, people will not get scared.
yeah, because we adapt. We see, like, it was scary. Part of the reason why the first one was scary was because we weren't expecting, like a horror game. Like, they were very unusual.
Yeah,
So
now if you go to a room and there's a window, something is going through the
yeah,
window.
exactly. We're used to it. I think it's that's why I actually think it can be very difficult to make a good horror game that scares people. I mean, you can make a good game that has a horror theme that keeps people interested, for sure. But I don't know that it's easy to make a good horror game that's scary. In the same way that the original Resident Evil or Silent Hill was.
Have you played Project Zero?
Is that PT?
Or maybe Fatal Frame? I don't know the name.
Oh, yes, Fatal Frame. Yes.
Yeah.
Those are great. I love those games.
Yeah, that's a very, very good game, the horror game.
Yeah, because you have to look at the ghosts. You have to keep them in focus too, to take a picture. It's like you have to face your fears. I like that a lot about those.
The new one it's getting censored.
It's getting what?
Censored.
Oh, good. So there's a new one coming out.
Yeah, they for the Occidental version they are censoring the clothes of the girl.
Stop it. My dog is annoying.
Yeah, they are saying in the chat that the first Devil May Cry was the best. Yeah, I only have played, I think, the first two and maybe a little of the third. But for me, there was a huge difference between the one and the second.
Hmm.
And I think it's the first one was like more brutal,
Oh yeah.
and the second one was like, I don't know, it's not as brutal as the first, so it's like it's
Oh no, not at all. I played all of them except for the fourth one. Um, I played Devil May Cry 1 was one of the most challenging. Sometimes I think Devil May Cry 3 was harder though. Some of the boss fights were really difficult. Like the two, I think there's these two guys. They're headless, red and blue. I can't remember their names, and they have swords. And those two were so hard. I think that maybe I needed to power up and come back because I was having such a hard time to fight these two guys, and they're fast, and it's two of them. But the first one I didn't have too many problems with. Maybe the bird. At one point, there's a bird that can be kind of challenging. There's a bird boss. Mm. But I like the third one, and the second one. If you've played all of them, the second one is really easy compared to the other ones. But I mean, it was pretty, and there was some cool stuff you could do, so I don't hate it.
I don't remember that I have much a hard time doing those games.
No, I had most of a hard time with the third game, and the reboot one. It's it's okay. I mean, like I like the reboot one. I don't know that it's challenging. Like it's more challenging than the second one was, but I don't think that it's an unworthy series one. I think that the people were complaining about the look of Dante. It didn't bother me that much, to be honest. I didn't really care, but maybe I'm just sort of like, well, and I like the designs of the monsters and stuff, and like the graphical things they were doing, like with the look. Because it's always cool when you get near the end of a game's life cycle, or a console rather. Because when you get closer to the end of the life cycle of the console, the developers they get really creative because they can't just they learn how to use the hardware more, so they end up doing more stuff with it.
Yeah, the best games for every generation are the last ones. And
Yeah,
I think in part it's maybe like I think in consoles, maybe in PC too, but in consoles it's probably sure that they can make the games with better graphics than they do, but they choose to not do it, so they can make, they can always make a game with better graphics until the console dies.
oh yeah,
And when the console is already dying, they go, okay, we are not going to do more games for this console, so let's make one with the fucking best graphics.
exactly.
Like I remember it was I think the PS1 had the Bloody Roar game,
Mm-hmm.
and the second Bloody Roar game, I think is the game with best graphics in PS1. I mean, the graphics of the game are like PlayStation 2 in its mid.
First generation, or like the
Yeah, it's
early.
totally of the next generation in graphics that
Yeah.
the game. And in the second, it happened the same. The Valkyrie Profile 2, it's one of the best games for the console, and the graphics are totally from the PlayStation 3. And it came out, I think, when PlayStation 3 was already out from 1 year or two.
Yeah.
and they are doing it now too with the 3 and the 4. There's a game. I found it by chance. I don't know if you know it. The Witch and the 100th Night.
Hmm.
You know it or?
What's it called again?
The Witch and the 100th Night.
That sounds really familiar.
It's
I think,
a kind of isometric game. It doesn't have very much very good graphics, but the thing is, I found the game because there was someone in Gamergate saying this game got bad reviews for social justice, but it's a good game, and I have it now, and the main character, she's a bitch, a total bitch. She's like the biggest bitch ever. And I can understand why social justice warriors don't like her. She does things like, for example, at the beginning of the game, she defeats another witch, and the witch, it happens to be her mother. And she discovers it at that moment. No, she says, "I'm your mother." And the main character, witch, what she does is she kicks her several times until she vomits blood.
wow.
She transforms her into a mouse. She summons 3 horny mouse to rape her, and after that, they kill her and they eat her for dinner.
Yeah, that's messed up.
So yeah, she's a bitch.
The biggest bitch ever. Yes. I wonder what when I was thinking about who's this is a game, right?
Yeah, for PS3.
Wow. And it's called
The Witch and the 100th Night.
I'm gonna look it up.
Well, I'm gonna write it in the chat, the YouTube chat.
Because that is insane. And for a PS3 game, it's crazy. What the?
Yeah, I'm only in the beginning of the game, so I suppose she will get crazier as the game goes on. Your objective is the objective of the game is to conquer the world for the witch.
Crazy. What? No. I'm still working through different games like Ni no Kuni.
I have to play that one.
It's good, and it's challenging. I love challenging games because it seems to me that there's not many of them. A lot of games are they hold your hand a lot, especially Western games, Western developers.
They go for the easy. They want to expand audience, so they make games easier.
Yes, because it's got that Studio Ghibli art style, but it's not easy. You have to be very careful. You have to make good choices, and it plays like a good sort of old school RPG. Like it's turn-based sort of. It's got the turn-based in the same way that the old Final Fantasy games were, where you take turns, but you can't wait to make a decision because the monsters will attack. So you have to be kind of fast.
Yeah,
but it's not like real time like a lot of games are today.
One of the many reasons why I am in Gamergate and against the social justice warriors is because with all this, the games have to be more diverse thing. One of the things they want to make is games easier, because that means they reach a wider audience. Anita Sarkeesian says when she spoke about Mirror's Edge, she said that the game should be easier because women need easier games,
Yeah.
which is sexist.
Oh, it is totally.
and it's like no, Mirror's Edge. I mean, for me, it's one of the best games of its generation, and I don't want the game to be made easier for these people.
Yeah. And besides, I mean, if people, because I know some women gamers that are very hardcore, and I know some male gamers that they can't handle very difficult games. And these are people that are not new to gaming. They're just not, they've been doing this a while. They just don't, they just don't good. They're not good with certain kinds of games, like fighting games, for example. Which they even if you make fighting games really approachable and easy and like you can button mash, you're not gonna be able to. You're gonna struggle because you have to fight against real people, and real people are the best kinds of challenge. But they play like games like the girls I know that are really good. They play the MOBAs. That they call it, the tower defense, League of Legends and stuff. Yeah, and they're really good. I can't play that stuff, and I tried once, but whew, it's brutal. And the people online, that community though.
Yeah, the community is. I mean, I have been playing League of Legends since the first day, and when someone tells me I don't play League of Legends, the first thing I always say is don't do it. I still play, but don't do it. Don't play League of Legends.
I mean, it's like, but that's funny because it's. I think that a lot of girls play League of Legends, and League of Legends also has the most. It's got a reputation for having the most cruel and competitive community.
Yeah, it's very toxic. It's extremely toxic, and the most toxic person I know is a woman. But I use that game as an example. When they say women are more harassed in video games, you don't know what gender is the people playing League of Legends. You just choose a character that can be a woman or a male, and people flame you anyways.
Yeah, but people never pick characters in League of Legends because of their gender anyway. They're just trying to find the best character.
Yeah.
I guess. I mean, and they're always changing which ones are free, right?
Yeah,
like they're always changing.
There's no one picking or not picking a character because she's a woman or a man in that game.
No, because they want to win.
And you get flamed no matter who you are and no matter what you do, people flame you.
Yeah, exactly.
There was, I think it was.
But I don't. Oh, go ahead.
A couple of months ago, the first woman to go to a professional tournament of League of Legends, and they made it news like, oh, this is proof of how much women are harassed online because she gets harassment, and the image they show the entire team, like their teams of 5 people, so there's nine men because they are 2 teams and the girl, and all the men got harassed the same in the same video.
Oh yeah.
It was just that every time someone show up in the screen, people harassed, and that's it. I mean, when there was a man, people call it fat, ugly, and when there was a woman, pues, some people say, "Oh, you're a girl." They are trolls.
Yep. Yeah, I was Yeah, that's that's absolutely how it goes down. I used to play MMOs, and well, when I used to play them, and don't play them if you've ever don't play them because they're
Yeah,
too.
I played Lineage 2 for 7 years. I was
Oh,
one of the best players in the world for that game.
really?
Yeah.
That was one I remember when it was coming out. I tried it out. It wasn't that one like there was no PvP zones, so anyone can go anywhere.
Yeah,
And one.
the only no PvP zones were the cities. Everywhere else is PvP.
Yeah, and that was brutal.
Yeah,
Um,
that's why Lineage players we like to call World of Warcraft players Care Bears. Care Bears is the name, right?
what was that now? They call
The
them,
bears, the anime, the TV series Care Bears.
I'm not sure what that means.
These
That word.
bears with hearts and you know.
Yeah, with like that, like we're trying to protect people or don't want to be mean. You mean?
No, we mean like the people who play World of Warcraft and all this stuff is like, oh, I don't want to fight with other people,
Yeah.
and and sometimes you find one bragging about, oh, I beat 2 people in PvP, and then Lineage players are like, okay, I'm continuously in PvP.
Yeah.
I kill 50 or 100 people every day.
So yeah, is that I didn't really like I remember trying it out and then hearing about that and then I was only playing like a trial and I didn't get very far. So
It's very
you say
hard.
you were one of the best in the world. Um
But that was a long time ago.
uh-huh.
I'm
No, I
probably
was
a
playing.
noob again now.
What was that?
Now, if I try to play now, I'm probably a noob.
Oh yeah, sure. Is it still I'm sure the servers are still up
Yeah,
for it.
they are.
Because there's nothing like if nothing else has come out that's been the same way with the PvP everywhere, then the lineage players have no, they're not going to leave and look for a game elsewhere.
I only left. I mean, I stopped playing not because I didn't like it anymore. I mean, I still like the game. I stopped just because I didn't have time. I mean, I said, okay, I have to work now to have money, so I can play a game like this.
Yeah.
It's too much time. That's the problem with MMOs. You have to dedicate many time.
Yes, you do, and you have to constantly be grinding or be doing raids, or I can't keep up. I have to I have to manage my real life. I could easily get lost in those. My favorite thing about MMOs is making characters. It's my favorite part. I can just make like seriously. I would just buy character generators. I wouldn't even play the game.
There is a Korean game that I think it hasn't been released yet. They were making it, but it was very popular in the trailers because the character creator, you can make the character completely. I mean, you can pick the face and modify the face completely with like a lot of points. These points to modify the face that some games have.
Mm-hmm.
It had a lot of points to modify the face. It's like you can spend an entire day just making your character in that game.
It's almost like like you're sculpting it from scratch.
And I don't remember the name of the game now, but I'm sure if someday I see a trailer, I will remember it.
Yeah, that's interesting. I would like to know what that is.
Well, maybe a Google search. Okay, Korean game. Let's see. Black Desert.
Black Desert.
Desert is the game. And there is a video here, I think. Yeah, this is the game I'm gonna pick. I put it in the chat, in the YouTube chat, a link to the video. You can change even the pupils of the character. What else it has? All the colors, a lot of things. It has a lot of things.
No, that sounds horrible. Like I mean, I will like I will never leave my house. I can't. That's crazy. I'm glad that I make art. Let's put it that way. I can just do it that way. For those of you who just joined the chat, I'm making. So I think some people are wondering what the hell I'm doing. We're at Honey Badger Radio. We're working on starting a gaming show. We're gonna do live streams and maybe like uploads of gameplay of just us playing video games and stuff. So this is going to be called Honey Badger Arcade, and I'm making a you know how arcade cabinets, old ones from the 80s, will have like artwork around the side. So I'm making this border with some artwork around it that features characters like the Honey Badger down here. There's a feminist with a band hammer that's chasing him, and then there's various characters from Mike's cartoon, because I think that cartoon is like pretty iconic. And then I'm going to put the logo at the top that says Honey Badger Arcade. So I'm currently doing that. And what we'll do is we'll use this, superimpose it on the screen, so it'll basically act like a frame, and then the gameplay and stuff will happen inside the white box in the middle. So that's the goal anyway. And this is Chank, the gorilla. He was in one of Mike's cartoons. Very funny.
Yeah, we try to do something like that in the Gamergate Hispanic streamings, but there's always problems with the servers. Like you can put people from all the world in the same place.
Yeah.
There's only a few games that can make that.
Chank. What a classy guy he is. Let's see what people are saying in the chat. I love character creation. Yeah, I do too.
I have a lot of games that I have made the character and never played. Just made the character.
Well, because I like making characters a lot, and the ones that I think the MMOs I got into the most were the superhero ones, because you can make, usually there's a lot of customization. So I was into City of Heroes, Champions Online. I didn't like the DC Universe one because it didn't have a lot in terms of character creation, but yeah, I played those, and I would make tons of characters. Like I'd fill all the servers up with all the characters, and I'd play maybe a few of them.
I think that's why Baldur's Gate games were so good. You made 6 characters.
Which one?
In Baldur's Gate. The game
Baldur's Gate. Yes, because you can make a whole team.
Yeah.
That's right. Yeah, no, I think I did that too. And Neverwinter Nights, you could do that, I think, because I made a few of those characters as well. Even now, I'm playing Bloodborne right now, which is very good. And even that one, you can customize your character. So I made a
But
guy who looks like
that's the kind of game where you do the character and immediately you put a helmet.
yeah, yeah. Except, well, that's like Dark Souls and Demon Souls are like that. Where you have like a nice character, but then you have to wear a helmet, otherwise you're gonna die, or at least you think that you need to. But with Bloodborne, you get like top hats and stuff, so you just have to like consider that you'll be really fancy with a top hat. I'm gonna concentrate because I'm about to draw this feminist. Dark Souls, yeah, I totally play that. I love I Demon Souls is the best one though. Um, I think Demon Souls is the best game of those of that series. Although Bloodborne is really good, I have to admit.
I'm more of RPGs and fighting games or strategic games like tactic tactic games. I like that.
Yeah, I know. I like fighting games too. Well, some people say this is the tricky thing though, but some people say that Demon Souls and Dark Souls are RPGs. But I don't know because you have to, it depends on what you think when if you have to. Some people like RPGs that are turn-based, where you basically just make tactical choices. Some people like RPGs like Skyrim, where you're actually controlling it in real time.
I think it's the best way to tell it is Occidental or Japanese RPG.
Mm-hmm. Personally, I think RPGs are more tactical, like you're making more choices, and you build, and your success is based on your choices and the builds that you make. I think that when you're, matching on the attack button to do stuff, it's less of an RPG,
Hmm.
really.
There was
I
a
mean, I don't
name.
know.
There was
That's
a
what I
name
think.
for that. I think it was Action RPG.
Yeah, and that's sort of what like Demon Souls and Dark Souls is. Although you have to manage your stamina, so you can't just mash. And I think that's why I didn't really like Skyrim because uh, you could just mash everything, and then if you just had like enough, um, if your stats were high enough, you would win.
Hmm.
I got bored of Skyrim pretty quick.
Yeah, I didn't like Skyrim. I'm more of the Japanese style games.
Yeah, me too. That's why I like Nino Kuni and the Souls games are good. They're I call them action RPGs though, but I like them. Oh, and did I already mention before? I think we were on a chat, but I mentioned Valkyria Chronicles.
Yeah, no,
Oh,
we mentioned Valkyrie Profile is another game, but Chronicles is very good too.
very good. I love that game. I'm saddened that they made the sequels on PSP. I think that was um, I liked it on the PS3 because it was much prettier.
I have a PSP, so I have played all of them.
Oh, are they better or the same?
Mm, I technically in they are more balanced. I mean, the first one had some class that were useless,
Oh, like
and
which
I
one?
think the second and the third one make that better.
Okay.
All in the third one, all classes are useful. Mm,
Which ones in the original one did you find useless? I'm curious.
I don't remember now, but I think that there was some classes that I almost never used.
Well,
And
what were
and
they?
the tank was very expensive to use.
Yeah, they
With
had
the
the classes were, as I remember them. There was the scout,
Hmm.
which moved the furthest. That was the one. The girl, she was a scout. She had the highest move. They all had the high move. The soldiers, they had the machine guns, and they were the toughest. They had the best armor. Then there was the lancers. I think they were called lancers,
Hmm.
and they had the rocket launcher that you would use on the tanks. And then there were the snipers. And I think that's all there was, but I don't know. I think that was it. No, there wasn't there like an engineer? Maybe that was the
engineers,
one.
yeah, engineers were very useless, very useless. And they are better in the next games because they have more options.
Yeah.
But the story is not as good. Especially the story of the third one is very stupid.
Oh, the story is not as good.
They have more character development. I mean, they have every character have like 2 or 3 missions for him, and they influence the game if you do the missions. But the overall story is not as good as the first one.
Mm-hmm.
And I think they are gonna do another one now.
Oh, really?
Yeah, but
Uh,
they haven't said the platform, so maybe it's one of those stupid mobile games.
oh. Yeah, maybe. Is it who made it? Is it I can't remember Sega. It was Sega that made it, I think. Or they published it.
I think they publish it. I'm
Yeah.
not sure.
It's very good though. If you guys in the chat have a chance and you have like a PS3 or a PSP, get Valkyria Chronicles. It's really good. Let's see.
They are saying in the chat that Western RPGs are better than Japanese RPGs. I disagree. I highly disagree.
Yeah, I don't think so. I tried to get into what are the best Western RPGs, or at least the ones that people were talking about the most. I picked up Dragon Age Origins,
Hmm.
and I didn't like the story that much. It was like Lord of the Rings. I already saw Lord of the Rings, and I didn't really care for the gameplay. I managed to go through Valkyria Chron. I mean, sorry, not go. I went through Dragon Age Origins, and I only died one time. I never lost a battle, and I never had a hard time with it. And the relationship stuff, which the romance things, they're boring to me. There's like, so what, I get to bang this chick.
Hmm.
I didn't really care about that, and I don't know. I just didn't. I prefer, even if it means that it's more linear, because they give you, it's an illusion when they say, oh, you get to make these choices and control like the
Yeah,
outcomes and
it's
stuff.
false choice.
Yeah, you're not really getting, like, it's just going to be, it's not really going to be much different. So if I have the choice between a game that's going to, and not that I care a whole lot about the story. I mean, it'd be nice if the story was good, but even if the story was really straightforward, I wouldn't really make a big deal out of it. But if I had the choice between a story that was, the illusion of choice, and ultimately it was a little flat, and a story that was a lot more linear, like a Final Fantasy, for example, and there were no choices, but the story was better, or at least more dramatic, I would choose the more linear one.
Yeah, yeah. It's the more choices you let people make, the story suffers a lot.
Yeah, At least we're not at the point yet where we can make it as good as a story that was pre-written.
Mm.
You know,
If it were true that the choices you make change the game like completely, that will be good. But in the end, it doesn't do that.
no.
I only know one game that does that, and it's Japanese. It's the First the Valkyrie profile.
Oh yeah. I mean, just think of what is the one that everyone was putting so much time into was Mass Effect.
Yeah.
And when Mass Effect ended, the nerd rage was,
Yeah.
it was everywhere.
With reason.
Yeah. So, I mean, that I think speaks.
That's the game. When the second was out, I said the third game, it's gonna be the test of fire. Like that game will make clear if you can make a good story with free choices, like choosing a lot of things, or if you can't do it if you don't make the story linear. And well, that happened.
Mm-hmm. Let's do it this way.
What's your favorite Final Fantasy? For me, it will be the 10.
For me, it would be 6. I really liked 6, but I think it was because I invested a lot more into it than I did into 10. I liked 10, but there were some things about 10 that I was really frustrated by. I didn't like. Did you ever figure out how to play the sport that had? What was it called?
Blitzball.
Yeah, I never figured that out. It was so frustrating. I never figured it out, and it was always luck. I would always win, but I didn't know what I had just done. The other thing about 10, I mean, I like 10. It's good. I do. I thought I like 10 a lot. But the other thing about 10 that really I didn't like was the character that I hated the most, that just annoyed me the most, was the best one. And I had to have him in my team, and that was Waka. I hated him. He irritated me to no end. He was like this bohemian surfer dude / like, I don't know. He was like one of these hip Asians, the characters, and he just bothered me. My favorite character was the weakest one in my team, and that was Kamari. And I maybe I should have been, like I planned it out better. He would have been better, but I
build the characters.
I'm sorry.
You can build the characters. I mean, my Riku at the end game when I defeated the Dark Ions, Riku has all the skills in the game.
Yeah, you could. Well, yeah, if you spent the time, you could give everybody everything. But I mean, I'm like that's basically where I'm at. I like Final Fantasy VI the most, and I think it's because I invested the most time into it.
Yeah, for me, the 10 was the last one. I did the 100%. The next ones I never. I just play the story and that's it.
Well, at least you're not all like, not that it's a bad thing, but everyone won't shut up about 7, and at least you didn't go with that down that route.
I mean, it's good, but it's overrated.
Oh no, for sure. I think it's nostalgia, like we were talking about earlier about anime. I think you have people who grew up on 7, and they think that 7 is the bee's knees. And I mean, I don't think it's a bad game, but I don't know that it's like
it has plot holes, and people fill in their minds the plot holes with nostalgia.
Mm-hmm.
like most people didn't even understand the story. I mean, every time I talk with a Final Fantasy VII fan about the villain of the game, they always say, "Oh, it's Sephiroth." No.
Yeah. Another thing is, and this is just from a gameplay perspective. Another reason why I like 6 a lot was because in 6, your party could have up to 4 people in it, and you had all these characters, and you could like make your own teams because there were so many characters to find. And I did 100% on that one too. I had, when the game ended, I had everybody I had all of the, they all had Ultima, and I had, all of them were maxed out. And I also got all the characters because in 6, if you could lose certain characters, like they might die if you didn't make certain choices, like the ninja, for example. And but I like that you could, have a team of 4. And then I remember when 7 came out and they made the team a team of 3. And that, I think, and that, like, I don't know, it's a small thing, but it was a big deal to me at the time. So I was like, well, why would you make it less people in your party when the game is more advanced? Like, this is
Yeah.
But that was one of the reasons why I was happy with 10, because you had access to everybody. You just had to switch them, right? So
7 is truly one of the less Final Fantasy ones.
yeah,
Like the system is totally different from a Final Fantasy.
yes. Well, there's another one that's kind of underrated that I liked, was 12. That was good. And 9. I think 9 also deserves more credit.
9 it's not underrated. People like it.
I don't really hear people talking about it too much, but here's the thing too, just so you guys that are that are listening. I'm a little. I think that SquareSoft needs to get away from Final Fantasy and go back to their other RPGs, because they made other games.
Yeah, I want them to make Valkyrie Profile 3.
Yeah, they had some other games, and some of them were really good. I liked Vagrant Story. Vandal Hearts, I think, is one of theirs. Saga Frontier.
Vagrant Story was like the Dark Souls of its time.
Yeah. Also, what else did the SquareSoft make that was really good? Didn't they do Xenogears? Not Xenosaga, Xenogears.
Xenogears.
Well, that was Konami, I think.
Well, they were the publisher of the Xenogears.
And Xenogears was awesome. Not Xenosaga. Not the one with Cosmos. It was a different game. It had mecha in it and martial arts. There's a lot of kung fu character.
For me, it was most like the opposite. I mean, I don't like Xenogears, but Xenosaga is my favorite game.
Oh, you like? Yeah. Well, they should make more of those too. That was Namco, I think, right?
Yeah. The company is Monolith, but the publisher was Square, Arfish, and then Namco, and now is, I think, Nintendo.
Also, Square made a couple of games that weren't even RPGs. Or like, what about Parasite Eve? That's still an RPG, but
the first cinematic game.
Wait, what? Which one?
The Parasite Eve, the first Parasite Eve.
Yes. Right.
The Tactics, Final Fantasy Tactics too.
Oh yeah, Final Fantasy Tactics. Those were so good. Very addictive too.
Chrono Trigger.
Now, of course, when it comes to those kinds of games, I think it's called. Can't remember the name of the company off the top of my head. It's like treasure chest or something. I'm sorry. The people who make the Disgaea is like the thing now, but I don't have time to get all of my characters up to level 99 and go and, you know, if you ever play the Disgaea games, you know that those are extremely grindy, but they're really popular and they make them over and over. I think it's called Treasure. I want to say that's the name of the developer. And they're very they don't ever stop making those games. So there's clearly a market.
Yeah, they made recently like a compilation of this guy, and it's like the definitive compilation. You don't have an excuse to not play it now, and it has the 2, 3, 4, I think 5, and something else, and it's like, okay, but the first.
Yeah. Who's gonna play? I mean, somebody somewhere did it. And can you imagine, like, with the, because I don't play them now, but can you imagine what you probably need to get a platinum trophy on a Disgaea game? No thanks. If you're the kind of person that cares about trophies, anyways.
No, not really.
No, I don't either. I think it's just a phony way to get people to play the game. I mean, if the game is really good and I'm like really engaged and I'm addicted to it, I'll probably get the platinum trophy just because I keep playing it. But I think that sometimes, no, often, developers make a game and they use the trophy system or the achievement system as a way to essentially make up reasons why you need to play it. And like it's almost making up for the fact the game might be subpar itself. Because if the game was really good, you wouldn't need the trophies to get people to play. Because they'd just be addicted to it, right? I mean, I'm not a trophy hunter myself, but
we're completing Final Fantasies at 100% before trophies.
Yeah, exactly. What do you think about? You said you mentioned fighting games. What do you think about Street Fighter V?
It looks good so far, but I want to see Yuri-Han.
Oh,
that's my selling point. I want to see Yuri-Han there.
Well, did you play it before they made her a character, or she just like automatically your favorite now?
She appeared in the
in Arcade Edition, or no, Super Street Fighter 2, or Super Street Fighter 4.
In Super 4, yes.
Yeah.
And I like her a lot. I mean, and for me, that's the character that made me play again Street Fighter. I had stopped playing Street Fighter.
Uh-huh. Yeah, I my favorite character in Street Fighter was always Gen. And from Street Fighter Alpha 2, when they made him playable. And when they brought him into Street Fighter 4, I was super excited and I got really into it. But now that they're making 5, I seriously doubt that Gen is going to be in it. Because he was not the most popular character. And mainly it was because, you know, well, I think there's a few reasons. I think that people don't like to play characters that don't look attractive. Like he's like this old man. But I also think it's because he was very difficult to play. He was one of the most difficult characters because he had two styles.
Yeah, Street Fighter has always been a very unbalanced game. Like Ryu is top 1 tier in almost every Street Fighter.
Well, when Street Fighter 4 came out, the Sagat was the most powerful character in the game, and everybody used him like all the time. I think in the latest build of 4, they balanced it pretty good because I was able to use everyone, even Jury. Oh, did you ever play Street Fighter Cross Tekken? Because Jury was in that too.
Yeah, yeah, I like it. Yeah,
Yeah, it was fun.
I like the strange pair of Yuri and Bison.
Yeah.
Like it's impossible because she wants to kill him, but okay.
I would team up because when you play, you can team anybody you want up. I would team up people that I thought would be like one Tekken character and one Street Fighter character that I thought would make an interesting team. So I would put Jury with Hwarong because they both use Taekwondo, just to see how they would be different. And I would team up Bison with Heihachi.
I will put maybe Yuri with Kazuya
Yeah, that's good.
because the two are bitch.
No, that's a good one too. I would do different things. Like I put this was funny. My friend thought it was funny anyway. Dalsim, who I think I play for fun because again he's like kind of silly, but I would team up Dalsim with Michelle Chang or Julia Chang because they're both Indian. Uh,
Different kind of Indian.
yeah. But it was actually a good team too. They worked well together. It was like, wow, this is crazy.
that will probably offend social justice warriors a lot.
Yes, exactly, it would. This is why I want to get I need to get a capture card for PlayStation 3 so I can make videos of me playing as my Indian team and to offend people specifically. There we go. 2 more badgers to go. Let's see.
I had a fuck you moment today. There's a game that I want to buy, Monster Monpiece, and the game is only on PS Vita in digital.
What? What is it called again?
Monster Monpiece. It's a Monster Girl video game.
Like Monster Hunter?
No, Monster Hunter doesn't have anything to do with Monster Girls.
Oh, I'm sorry.
It's just monsters. Monster Hunter is like the advanced version of Dark Souls.
Yeah.
And no, this is the Monster Girls, and the thing is, because they only sell it in digital, I have to wait until they make like a sale or something. And I have been waiting for a year, and I looked today to see if there has any luck, and the game has been at 70% sale since the day 7, and the offer ended today 2 hours ago.
Oh.
Fuck you, Sony.
And it's been going on for a while, but you didn't look until today, and
Yeah.
today it just ended. That's terrible.
It was at like
Oh, it was at $11.
yeah. Well, the price was in euro. I'm making
Yeah,
an,
that's in euros.
9 euros. So I suppose that
Do you guys use the euro over there?
yeah.
I think that your money is worth more than our money. No, I'm not sure.
Yeah, and that's bad because the price are usually like you do. There's a game like Fallout. It's I think $60 there.
It will be, yeah.
When they take that game to Spain, they make the same price, but in euro.
So that means doesn't that mean
$60. In here is 60 euro, so it's like $75.
oh
Everything is more expensive here.
yeah, I think that I'm what am I playing right now? Still playing Bloodborne, and I got into the Street Fighter V beta. I got to play as Vega yesterday. They just opened it up. He's very different. I like him a lot more. Before he didn't. I liked him okay, but he didn't really feel like what he was supposed to be. He's a lot more agile and Spanish. He's a lot more Spanish now.
More Spanish.
Yeah, he wasn't really before. I mean, it was like they were trying to take again. Well, I mean, the problem with characters like Vega was that they were trying to take a character that was a boss character that you couldn't use when he first appeared, and they tried to make him playable without changing his animations much. But when he was a boss character, he didn't have as many animations as a regular playable character was because he didn't need all of the, animations. And as more Street Fighter games came out, the only thing they did with Vega was they just added on top of what was already kind of faulty because it wasn't made to be played. They just, added more animations and moves, but they didn't just build it from the ground up. And with that, there was this awkward thing where he was like a charge character, but charge characters generally are played more defensive in a way because you can't really, be aggressive. But he was supposed to be fast and use the claw, and it didn't really make a lot of sense. So in this one, they changed him completely. He plays very different, and I like it a lot more. It's more aggressive style. And he can put the claw away if he wants to and then pull it out. And he's just more fun. So I was playing that, and there was something else I'm also doing. It's
for me, the funny thing about Vega has always been the stereotype. I mean, every Spanish character in video games, or almost everyone, is the biggest stereotype ever.
What the beautiful
about it. I mean, like Vega is a very popular character in Spain, and characters like Toreador from the Knockout game, I think it was. You mean or in Tekken, Miguel Caballero.
Yeah.
Michael Knight. and
you look like Michael Knight. I didn't even think about that.
And it's a huge stereotype. I mean, there's no one in Spain who looked like that, like or Miguel Caballero. But we like that. I mean, it's not offensive.
No.
Like I fucking rolled a lot. The first time I saw the Miguel Caballero character, you know that there is a secret map that is in the mountains with lamps. And that was the first map that I saw Miguel Caballero. It was fucking hilarious.
I never. My mind is blown. Like I never even thought about that name. Now that you say it, he looks just like David Hasselhoff. And David Hasselhoff played Michael Knight on Knight Rider, and his name is Miguel Caballero. Which okay, that's crazy.
Yeah.
And I didn't even. I remember I thought when I saw him, I was like, "What fighting style is this?" It looks like he's just sort of like rude.
Yeah.
I don't. I don't. It doesn't really make a lot of sense. Like I don't know what it is. It's not. I don't know if it's supposed to be bullfighting. I don't know any bullfighters like that. He's just kind of this rude guy.
Yeah, they all the male characters in Spanish male characters in video games are like bullfighters. People here don't even like bullfighting. I mean, there is a push to ban bullfighting here.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's probably. I mean, I don't think bullfighting will last more than 10 years with things like they are now.
No, I'm not surprised by that.
I think the only Spanish character, normal, it's in Death or Alive. It's a red-haired girl. I don't remember the name. Mila, maybe?
What game?
Death or Alive.
I don't know that one.
There's a girl, I'm gonna look. It's a Spanish girl and it's just a normal girl, but it's Spanish. Mila, yes, it's Mila is the character.
I'm looking at the chat. Goth King has a question. The game that was the same era about dinosaurs. Yeah, Dino Crisis. Oh, okay. Somebody already answered that question.
I want a remake of Cadillacs and Dinosaurs.
Cadillacs and Dinosaurs, yes. Actually, those when Capcom was making a lot of those beat 'em ups, they should totally like. I remember one of my favorite ones was Alien versus Predator. That one was awesome. Awesome.
I think they did a 3D version of Metal Slug.
Metal Slug?
Yeah.
Speaking of which, SNK, they made some of my favorite fighting games, but they have. I mean, I used to love like Samurai Showdown. And at first, I think that they lost their way, and that's basically what I'm getting at. Is when they were making. I gotta do this. Fill this up with green so I can see what color I'm doing. So I can see. Okay. I used to love Samurai Showdown, and Fatal Fury was all right. I think King of Fighters was when they really were doing well, but they're making a 3D King of Fighters. Oh, it looked bad. I feel bad for them. They shouldn't do it.
They did that before.
Yeah, that I didn't really care for those either. That was the one with there was a girl that looked like she was out of the 60s, and
yeah, but they did it very bad. I mean, they make the main characters all new characters, and they were very boring.
Yeah, I thought for a while, I think the best King of Fighters was King of Fighters 98. That was my favorite because it had the best character designs, and they had the majority of their best designs were in there. And somewhere along the line, like with the more later ones, the designs got worse. Like I don't really care for, you know, Kay and I don't know. There were a few characters that I like. The Ice Girl, I didn't really like her very much.
Kula.
Kula, yeah. No, that's the wrong color.
Yeah. And they begin to not include the characters to throw them into DLCs.
Yeah, or exactly. And I think that's also a mistake because you know, when you're making fighting games, I understand that it can be challenging because you need to you want to make new content, but the people who play fighting games, they practice a lot with a character that they like, and if you don't bring that character back, you're gonna lose. You may lose that customer because they may like you said, like if Jury isn't in Street Fighter V, then you're probably not going to get it.
Yeah, I stopped playing King of Fighters when I think it's 12 or 13 when they didn't include Blue Mary.
Yeah, see,
and she was my favorite character, and I think she's the most popular character in Japan. They made a pool, and she was the most popular character in the game, and they didn't include it.
Yeah, that's a mistake. Gray.
They probably thought, like, if she's the most popular, we can throw them into a DLC and people will buy it.
Yeah, that is a challenge to run a fighting game and franchise and try to keep things interesting by making new characters. But you have to make new ones, and also you don't want to alienate your audience by taking away the old ones. So it's like it's really difficult because you're always going to lose somebody. Like even if they, go ahead.
Tekken is doing a good job with that because it has.
They keep everybody, don't they?
When they include a new character, it has a sense. Like the new Tekken, I wasn't intended to buy the game because I have the 6 and the what's the other one?
Tekken Tag.
Yeah, but then they release the part of the story, and apparently the mother of Kazuya is going to be a playable character and a story character.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's interesting to see.
Yeah, no, that is. And actually, I mean, like they dragged it out a little bit too long, which is another problem with fighting games. But the story for Tekken wasn't bad for a fighting game. For a fighting game story, before you guys rage. Fighting games don't usually have like the best stories, but then the story isn't supposed to be good. It's just supposed to be enough to get people to play.
The hard part with those games is when they do that every character, if you finish the game with that character won the tournament.
Yeah.
Then you don't have any idea who the fuck won.
Right. I mean, in some games, they when they make a sequel, they tell you what the canon is. Like they say this person won last time. Like I think and they do it that way. But I mean, yeah, that's like it's a fighting game. I mean, it's got that. It's limited in that way. But then you're not supposed to.
Yeah,
it's not like
it has some endings very ridiculous. Like I think the first ending with Xianghua. No, Xiao Yu. Xianghua is from Soul Calibur. And her first ending was she win the tournament, and with the money she makes
Amusement park.
amusement park.
Yeah.
And then
Is
Heihachi
that-
changed the amusement park to a Heihachi park.
Yes.
And yeah,
Is that the one that
this
was
is
like a
canon.
cartoon? Is that the one that was an anime? It was animated?
Yeah,
There was one. Yeah, there was one Xiao Yu ending that they didn't do it with the CGI graphics, but they made it like a cartoon. I think no, you know what? That was a different. There was a Xiao Yu ending, but it might have been from another game because it turned out she was dreaming, and she's like asleep, and it's like a cartoon in her head, which is pretty funny, but again, makes it's not canon at all. It doesn't make any sense. Some Tekken endings didn't make any. They didn't tell you anything at all. I remember the very first Tekken, and you win with Kazuya, and he takes Heihachi Mishima and throws him into a volcano or something. And then he turns and smiles, and that's it. And it's creepy looking because the graphics, the CGI was terrible back then.
For me, the best ending in Tekken is, I think, is the Tekken 2. The one, I don't know, I think it's Kazuya, the ending for Kazuya. He's fighting with Devil, and Devil wins, but when he's gonna kill Kazuya, Heihachi blocks the attack. And
yes,
there's like one second in which it seems like a moment father-son, and then Kazuya grabs Heihachi and uses it as a shield.
Yes. Yeah, that family's got problems.
And it's a big family.
Yes. And you want more you want to see more like good come out of it. So when like Jin came out, I think there people were like, "Oh, finally a good, a heroic character." And then even he like is probably not as good as, he's more of like an anti-hero. He's not really the nicest guy either. Oh, that's not right. Let's do this color. Oh, it's ugly. I'm trying to decide what color I want.
It has some things that are copied from Street Fighter, like the Akane is the name of the daughter of Jun. Or Asuka.
Yeah.
Asuka is the name. And Lily, Asuka and Lily. That relationship is exactly the same as Sakura and Karin.
Mm-hmm. Well, did you like Karen?
Yeah.
Because they're putting, that she's in Street Fighter 5, right?
Yeah.
I just realized something.
She's the Naga from the fighting games.
She's the what?
The Naga. From Slayers.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah. With the laugh and everything. Okay. We'll make this lighter. No.
I like the Persona fighting games are very good.
Yeah,
Because
I heard
they have a story, and the story for the game is a visual novel.
really.
And it's a very long story. It took me like a year to read all the story.
Actually, the Persona, because it's already it was already an RPG. So there is that, but there was the Arc System Works, or I don't know if that's what they're still called anymore, but They made the Persona fighting game, Persona Arena, and they also made Guilty Gear. Um, the Guilty Gear story is pretty good too, actually. It's sort of like they came up with all the characters and then they decided to come up with a story afterwards. Because that's sort of like, again, that's the nature of fighting games. Because the most important thing about a fighting game seems to be the characters. That's like the biggest. If you don't have good character designs, nobody wants to play. You know?
Yeah. Have you noticed how when journalists or social justice warriors want to talk about diversity in games, they left out all the fighting games?
Oh yeah,
because
they never talk about the fighting games.
That the fighting games like destroy all their narrative about diversity.
Mm-hmm. And they have some of the best designs. But that's only because they have to. Because if you think about it, like, I don't know, like Fallout, who thinks about the character designs in Fallout? There are none. Even Assassin's Creed, which is one, a series they like to talk about. I think that they tend to have a focus on Western games, though, because Japanese games, not only do the Japanese developers not care, but they can't really. It's more difficult to criticize.
I think they just give it for granted. Like they think, oh, those games have a woman dressing armors like bikini armors, so we don't have any to argue that they are sexist. They are.
Oh yeah, sure.
And it's like the opposite.
Yeah, and what's the other thing that they often do is they go after the kinds of games that like
date sims.
Yeah, dating sims and games where Japan is really trying to like do cheesecake. Like what's the one where you're fighting zombies? There's a game you're fighting zombies, but you have to strip them in order to expose that they're zombies. It's developed by the same company that made
Akiba Strip, maybe?
Huh?
Akiba Strip?
Yeah, that's it. Akiba Strip, yes. That's probably, again, that's nobody would they would think that that's ridiculous. And it's only because Japanese developers feel like they have complete creative freedom. It's only for that reason that there is a game called Kiba Strip. Or even, because if you think about it, social justice warriors would probably say that Fatal Frame is sexist because it puts women in danger, and that they can't fight; they have to take pictures. They would probably make some reason that that's sexist because it's like about selfies or something. I don't know. The way Lacey Green did, she after people who take selfies.
The girl who has to stop being feminist for a while to enjoy something.
Yes, you do.
She said it in a video that she had to stop being feminist for a while to enjoy something.
Just goes to show. It's a bit darker. Okay. Yeah. Feminists don't know what fun is.
Everything is problematic.
Okay. Let's see. Our I forgot what I was gonna say. There was oh yeah. So you heard about the TPP thing,
Yeah.
Trans-Pacific Partnership.
Hmm.
This is potentially it's very bad. Somebody um, in the chat or in the comment section told us that we don't have the whole story and that we should be more skeptical of it. It's probably got some good sides to it. I fail to see what that is right now, but because if it went through what we're doing right now, we would not be able to do.
There's a video. Sargon did an interview, well, a streaming with an economist, I think, from England, and he was in favor of the TTP, and he explained some things. I don't remember much, but probably it's in his channel.
Yeah, because there was some. I mean, like there are some potentially good things that might come out of it, only because it would protect, copyrights of little guys like us. Because right now, like for example, the way things are now, if enough of this Badger art circulated, like it's on their website and stuff, someone could, in theory, take it and put it on like a shirt in China, and I wouldn't really be able to do anything about it. But I have to, I think, be willing to take that risk. Because I have to worry that, like right now, if it went through, things like fan art and cosplay and stuff that, or people that do Let's Plays.
What the I don't know much about the TTP, but what it does is make the copyright laws of United States be on top of the ones from the other countries, or something like that.
Yeah, I think so. It basically overrides. This is why China, they were going to be in it, but they backed out. They're not in it.
And the thing is, I don't know if you watched it. I watched it like a half year ago or something like that. There is apparently an attempt to change the copyright laws of the United States to something I have in my YouTube channel. I think it was a guy that is the leader of some organization of illustrators or something, and they are fighting so this is not passed. And I'm trying to remember, but it changed. Then they're trying to change the laws so you don't have the rights of the things you do. That you have to buy the rights for your own things, for every single thing you do, and you have to do it to a specific company. They will create a company for that, and you have to buy them the rights for what you do. And you have to give them the personal data of your clients. I'm going to look. I have it in my YouTube, I think, so I'm going to look for that. It was something like that. It was very like, if that pass, you are fucked.
Yeah, that sounds bad.
And if the TTP, what it makes is that your law supersedes ours, then it's bad for us too.
Lacey Green has a good pair. I mean, when she was younger, I don't know. I don't know. She doesn't. I don't find her as attractive as I used to. I think that's one of the reasons why she's like full on like super feminist too. And I know it sounds like it's really petty, and I'm just, taking a jab at her. I was just responding to a guy in the chat. But I think honestly, when she was young and pretty, she probably felt more empowered to, not care as much about what other people I don't know, think of her, because I think that's where this comes from, is this idea that, our society thinks of women a certain way, and that's why she reacts the way that she does. But I think that this is really about her getting older. She's not going to be pretty for much prettier for much longer, and she's already on the decline. And
I'm putting the link to the copyright thing in the YouTube chat.
and the saddest part is that when Lacey Green gets too unattractive or gets too old, or even if she just gets old and she stays attractive, but she gets old enough that her audience doesn't like relate to her, because they feel like they're being spoken to by their mom instead of like a peer. MTV will fire her and they'll dump her. I mean, that's inevitable. Oh, I forget the colors of.
I haven't seen many feminists who are attractive.
Well, yeah, there aren't many.
There's probably a correlation in that.
If I had to guess, I'd say yes, you're right.
Like, Femicias is pretty, but I'm not sure if she's a feminist or not.
Someone just recommended to me that someone on Twitter just like recommended to Femitheist that I can do like art for her. I guess she's looking for artists. And I thought it was really weird, because I'm like, why would I do that for her? I'm not sure if she's a feminist or not. I think she's a troll, and a pretty darn good one, honestly.
Yeah, that's what I read, that the kill 80% of males was like a trolling, or more like what I read is that she made that to lure the radical feminists and like show them publicity.
Yeah.
And it worked. It worked much.
Yeah, hopefully that's the case. We'll see. I guess I might be hearing from her. I don't know.
Well, if peace for equality work, everything can work.
It's true. Oh.
Maybe you could try to bring her to a Honey Badger show.
Yeah. It's not a bad idea. I'll ask her. Be like, yeah, I'll draw it on one condition.
There's too much Kevin already.
We can do like a fireside chat with her, and I'll let Karen talk to her. I think Karen wants to say a few things to her anyway. So.
Yeah, it's very hard to find feminists who want to have a debate.
Oh, yeah.
We have the same problem. We're going to make I think it's in February, there's going to be a convention, and they have called me to do a debate on Gamergate, because I did this huge article about Gamergate in Spanish, and I ran the Gamergate Hispanic page. So they called me for that, but what they have told me is that they have a lot of people to debate in the side of Gamergate and not a single person who want to debate in the anti-Gamergate side.
Of course.
Seems
They don't
family.
have an argument. They can't. How can they argue when they don't have any points? It's difficult for them, and part of me, a small part, feels a little bad, but not much.
Yeah, they don't have. I mean, when I did in this huge article I did in Spanish, the most people, the argument that most people make against the article is they say, oh, all the links, all the sources you show are false, and I have about 100 sources in that article, and I'm like, you have watched the 100 sources entirely, and they normally end up confessing that no,
No, of course not.
because I can, even if they don't confess, I can look the traffic in my website and look if someone has go to the links, and I can see that they don't. They just have read the article and say, oh, the sources are false, but they haven't watched the sources.
Yeah.
Or one that I found funny too is they say me, oh, but this article is pro Gamergate, and that's an argument. How?
Yeah.
Like they don't. I mean, when they read an article anti Gamergate, they don't go to the writer of the article to tell him, oh, this is shit because you are anti Gamergate.
Right. They think that there's pro Gamergate and then there's the right answer. And that's how it works.
Like if they did the two things, okay, it will be okay. Like if you go to a pro Gamergate article and to an anti Gamergate article and you say to both, oh, you are being partial. But if you only do it to one, then you are not being partial also.
Exactly.
I will be in another convention next week, so I will take again my Gamergate shirt.
In Spain?
Yeah. So far, nothing has happened with my Gamergate shirt, but who knows?
And do you not have problems selling work?
No. Very few people know. I mean, Gamergate in Spain is like a totally unknown thing. No one knows about it.
Same thing here. At least for me, I very rarely run into people who know what it is.
And in part, I think that if Gamergate happened in Spain, it will be more people pro Gamergate than in United States, because
Probably.
every time that something happened, like Anita Sarkeesian or a censorship to a game, if you watch the gaming media in Spain, the journalists are of course, defending Anita and defending censorship and against Gamergate. But if you read the comments, like 99% of comments are what a pro Gamergate will say.
Mm-hmm.
like there is a woman here that did a video in the same way as Anita Sarkeesian.
To make fun of her.
Yeah, like she was saying, yeah, games are sexist, and the reaction in the gaming websites in Spain was like, "What the fuck are you saying?"
Yeah. I think that's one of the reasons why the media is trying to get ahead of the message by saying, Gamergate is about harassing women, and they open it up with that statement without actually telling people the story. So if you're someone who doesn't know what's going on, you're just going to be like, "Oh, that's terrible. They're harassing women online. That's awful."
Yeah.
And then that way, when if they get people to believe it, then they can start crafting their narratives after the fact to essentially control like what people think.
Yeah, the first one to deliver a news, it's normally the one who can set the narrative.
Yeah, exactly. That's what they're trying to do. I mean, they do it here, and a lot of times when it comes up, people are like, "I don't know what that is," and they're like, "Oh, you don't know? Well, it's awful."
Yeah, that's the same that with men's rights.
Yeah, exactly the same.
My experience, the first time I hear anything about men's rights, like I don't live in United States, so I have never heard anything about men's rights, nor good nor bad. So the first things I watched about men's rights was Bane 666, or doing Honey Badgers, or people like that, or A Voice for Men. So about a month later, I begin to read people saying MRA as an insult, and I was like, why MRA is an insult? I didn't understand why,
Mm-hmm.
and I have to like research why it was an insult.
That's more than most people do. A lot of people just say, "I guess it is," and they just accept it. It's really kind of sad. But yes, I didn't hear about MRAs until after I saw Karen's videos. So I was lucky because I came across them and I watched all of her videos. I got addicted. I just binge watched like all of them. And I couldn't wait till she put a new one out. And then when I saw like the narrative about men's rights stuff being spun the way it was, it just made me more dubious, like in terms of like how I felt about it. It was just more like, wait, this is just something going on here. They're trying to control like what people think, because when you listen to what people are saying and doing that are involved versus what people are saying about them, it doesn't line up.
Yeah.
And it makes it hard because I had, when you're trying to share this information with other people,
Yeah.
most people are not very curious, so they just say like, "Oh, well, that sounds stupid,"
I have the same problem. Like a problem I had is that most of the people I know here from many years ago, they have kind of I wouldn't say they are social justice warriors, because they are like they don't like censorship and things like that, but they have some social justice warrior mentality. And
Mm-hmm.
I have always been against feminism, but I have always thought that I was like the black sheep. Like it was something that only I thought.
Yeah, like you were an
Yeah.
different for that.
And then I watched the internet, and I found a video from The Amazing Atheist, and and I was like, this guy is saying what I have said all my life about feminism. And from him, I started to, like, he was the first one, and looking at comments, I found Karen, and I found Sargon, and then I was like, hey, it seems that most people think like me.
Well, that's yeah, and I mean that you almost have to thank the internet for that, because like I mean I thank the internet for that because um, it you wouldn't even like have thought about that as an option if like here in Chicago or here in the States, most people who are anti-feminists types, they tend not necessarily to, they're not social justice warriors either because they tend to be more traditionalists. So you're looking at, people who believe in family values and that kind of thing. And they're against feminism for different reasons than like liberal types that might be against it. And yeah, I mean, it's thanks to the internet that you can like find not only there are people that think like you, but that there are people who are sharing information that you never really thought or had considered.
Yeah,
like that's how I see it. Like
yeah, it's like a lot of things that they smelled fishy, but I never had the info to know why they smelled fishy.
Yes,
And then I watched the videos, and it was like, that's why.
exactly.
Like when they tell the woman get harassed more online, and it's like my entire life experience denies that. And then you have access to data, and you see that men get harassed more.
Mm-hmm.
It was the same with drawings too. I was to art school, and people there is social justice warrior, absolutely, even in Spain.
Yeah.
So I have always wanted to do, like erotic and porn stuff because it's what I like. But I had there was a lot of time in which I didn't do it because every time I tried to do something like that, the backlash of the people around me was very, very high for different reasons. Yeah, like some say, sex scenes, others, uh, I don't know. There was a lot of social justice warrior attitudes against what I do as art.
Yeah. Absolutely. And they're the ones that decide, what's art in their mind, and it has to be, essentially they're like Puritans.
Hmm.
They want everything to be
Yeah, totally.
clean and non-offensive.
I have had a lot of discussions in art school about things. There's a lot of this surrealism, no, postmodernism.
Yeah, postmodernists.
Yeah, there's a lot of shit.
Yeah, they hate.
And they hate figurative art. Like art today is just conceptual art.
Yep. Yeah, we were talking about that on the show too. How if it represents something, they don't like it. They need it. It needs to. Conceptual art is just ugly, lazy people art because it doesn't usually involve a lot of effort and hard work. You don't need to know perspective, color theory, how to use the mediums. You just, you open a can of SpaghettiOs, you put it in your vagina, and you pee on a canvas, and you say that's art, and then you tell people it's about rape culture or something, and then no one, they don't question you.
It's like if the rule is if you can understand it without someone explaining it, it's not art.
Yeah. And no, and there are people who pay, lots and lots of money to go to schools to learn how to make that crap.
Yeah.
And they can't use it in the real world because
I have one of my end of career, I don't know how to say, end of career works was I did it about video games as art. And I think the only person that took that seriously was the teacher, because the students were all totally offended at the idea that a video game could be art. And
yeah,
I have very, very strong discussions about that. And the same people that were saying that video games are not art, a week later we're doing a performance in which they just throw a blanket to the ground and put to sleep. And that was art.
Oh my God. It's so awful. And the funny thing is I think that this comes from the art community, like people that have like that own galleries, and that they're in the academia and they operate the schools and stuff. Maybe not all the teachers, because but I go to art school, and most of the teachers that I deal with are like this. Some of them are not. Some of them are, they use like the classical art, but that is viewed as like an old way of thinking. That it's not like, it's like regressive.
Yeah, it happened the same to me. Like the only teachers that didn't seem to have mental problems were the ones from audiovisuals. They teach us lighting, the cinema and all that, and they were, like sane in mind.
Yeah. And it's like they're more, supportive and receptive of this stuff, but when I but I think that it's coming from the art community, and I think that what they do is they own the galleries and the museums and stuff, and they say, they make this dividing line. They say that there's art and then there's illustration, and people like us, because we draw things that we want to, like, that represent something. They call us illustrators. An illustrator is not an artist. That's basically what they're saying. And they tell their stories. Like, somebody told me a story. There's a really famous pinup artist from the 1940s. His name was Gil Elvgren. You should look him up. He does really beautiful paintings of pinup girls. And he was very good at what he did. But he died poor because he wasn't considered an artist, even though his work was so good. But he never really got recognition. A lot of people don't know his work by name. They just see it around. And it's really unfortunate. And I think that it's the reason why they do it. They want to basically be the gatekeepers of what is considered art. But the unfortunate thing about it is that now that we have the internet, the free market is deciding what art is. Like, people who do the kind of art that you were talking about, where they basically go to sleep on a couch or on a blanket or whatever, they're not making any money doing that. They're working at Starbucks. And people like us, we have the potential to make money. But I think that they don't like that. It makes them rage. Oh, I didn't paint this feminist yet. Crap. I gotta go call her. First person I ever heard beating the shit out of feminism was this YouTuber named Justicar. Yeah, I was listening to him when he was called Integral Math.
I don't know if I know him.
He hasn't done videos in a little while. He used to do them pretty regularly, but he hasn't done them in a while. He was a gay. I think he's a veteran or a cop. I think he's both, maybe. He's like very gay, and he's super gay. I mean, I only say that because he's super like out and doesn't care, like Milo, and yeah, no, he used to make good videos. Called the Justicar, that was his name on YouTube. Probably still up there.
Maybe he changed the name, like Internet Aristocrat.
Well, he used to be. Let me see if I can find it. He used to be called Integral Math, but then he changed his name to Justicar. So it's Justicar now. Maybe it's with 2 R's though. Sure. Yeah, it's Justicar on YouTube with 2 R's. Wait, no. Who is this? No, that's not him. Oh wait, no, it's not. Conversation with the Justicar. Copy. Yeah, the Justicar. I'll put a link in the chat. It's pretty good. But he hasn't done videos in a while. He gets on live streams though. I was on one with him not too long ago. For your thing, are you using the vector pen?
No.
Okay.
I know it.
You don't use it?
Sometimes, but usually not.
It's like when I figured out how to use that, it was like my favorite thing. Because you can erase lines very easily, and I like that. The way that worked anyway. I think I'm going to put hair on this feminist legs. I was on this Huffington Post women video, and on this video, let me see, people are still giving it likes. It was a video that was called Feminism Today is a Dirty Word, and they had these feminist women on there essentially shaming women who were against feminism. And I made this long post that debunked all of the myths that they were putting out there. And I'm at 650 likes and a conversation that's almost like 200 replies. And everyone is coming on, and men and women, and they're like, oh, this is so great. And the funny thing is that a lot of the women who have liked my posts or commented on them were very attractive. I don't want to say that there's a stereotype here, but there seems to be a stereotype here.
Yeah, it's like that's one thing that if you ask me 2 years ago, I would have told you that's a stereotype. That's a stupid stereotype. but with all the things that I have seen these last 2 years, it's like, okay, it's a true stereotype. I mean, it's true.
Yeah, I mean it's the girls who were, like I said, and they're from all over the world. You know, I looked at them. Some of them messaged me and they said, "Oh, then I'm so glad you said this." And they're from Indonesia. They're from the Middle East. They're from South America, Canada, like all over, Mexico, and they all agreed with me. And they were all really pretty girls. Like I was like, wow, this, like,
Yeah, it's like it totally looks like a stereotype and like a ad hominem, but it's true that it seems to be a correlation between being ugly and feminist.
yes. And you almost don't want that to be true because you don't want it to want to believe that these, your arguments could be stronger if that wasn't the case. But yeah, no, it really is the case.
And there's probably a real correlation in like if women who have no success with men and develop that kind of mentality.
Yeah, that's probably the case. I think there was that one. Do you know about the girl who made a video maybe I don't know, a couple years ago? It was called "Die Cis Scum." You know who I'm talking about?
I haven't watched it. No.
All right. I'm gonna find it for you, and I'm gonna let me save this because I haven't saved since I started. Oops, bad. Don't do that. Always save.
Yeah. I bought a battery for the PC just for that. When I forget to save, the light goes down. I can save.
All right. Let me find it and I'll share that screen, or I'll just get the picture. Die cis scum. Okay. I'm gonna find the most flattering picture I can of this person, but it's not easy. It's very challenging. Okay.
It's like this girl, Chanty Wings. It's like she looks totally like the fucking stereotype that you will put in a parody of a feminist.
Yeah.
It's totally, and she's the representative of the feminist on that group.
Yes, exactly. Today, I'll say.
Did you see the thing they did with the church, the cathedral in Argentina?
No.
It's the story. I don't know if the story is in English. I have watched it in Spanish a lot. There was the National Day for Women or something like that in Argentina, and every year the feminists reunite, and they have a march through the city. But what they do every year is they go away from their official route. They go to the church and they try the cathedral of Argentina, and they try to destroy the church. So what the Catholics do is they make a ring surrounding the cathedral. And every year apparently the feminists become more violent, and there's videos of this year of them breaking the the bars of the
Oh yes.
the walls of the cathedral. They throwing the walls down, throwing feces to the Catholics, throwing rocks, and the police went there and dispersed the woman. There were apparently about 1,000 feminists, and the police dispersed them. And in the media, what the media is saying is that the feminists were doing a peaceful march, and a group of neo-Nazis attacked them.
Jesus Christ. So bad. Journalism.
Yeah.
2016 or 15. This is journalism, y'all. All right, so let me just color in this bitch's. I get to call her a bitch because I created her. All right. So I will show you. So the Dice is Scum Girl. All right. She made this video talking about how terrible cisgendered men were and how they all should die, but she was being ironic or whatever. This is what she looks like. Okay. And that is a female. You see it? And this was a few years ago. Of course, you know, intentionally androgynous. I swear to God, this is the most flattering picture of her I could find.
I have seen. and now she's face, right?
Well, yeah. So she grew out of it. So she basically made another post saying, "No, that was a phase I was going through. I don't feel that way anymore, and this is her now." And so it's almost like the mentality itself makes you ugly because she's very pretty now.
It's kind of true because some of the rules are things like I don't have to shave.
Yeah.
I will paint my armpits.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, like, she just, you know, I don't want to like make any presumptions about her in terms of what made her change her mind. In her message, she basically said, "I grew out of it, and it was a phase I was going through." And when you look at this is quite a phase. Like that's really different from this. My guess is that she got dicked down really good. That's what I'm gonna say. I mean, that's what I think. She met a man. He laid her down. He gave it to her, like serious, and then she was like, "Oh my God, I'm a woman now." Like he made her into a woman. But good for you, Dice Scum Girl. You look happy, and I'm glad because this stuff here, this is toxic. I mean, it makes you angry. It kills your self-esteem. It you know, you can be very destructive not only for other people but for yourself, because you know you get like lazy and you get bitter, and then you think the whole world owes you something. So I know I said something super sexist, but that's what I think happened.
Have you seen that there was a woman who was diversity officer, and she has changed to a man, and they have fired her because now she's a white man?
I didn't know that, but that doesn't surprise me at all.
It's totally ridiculous, but it's believable. I mean, I can't believe anything right now.
It's yeah, no, it's impossible. I mean, nothing surprises me anymore when it comes to feminism or just social justice in general. I want to know, like I was telling, you know who Queenie Martha is?
I think, yeah, see.
Yeah, I was talking to her yesterday. We were doing, we were playing games on PlayStation 4 and talking on the in-game chat. And I told her about the troll of the Star Wars thing, and She was like, now I want to make a troll. Like, it's so easy to get these people so angry. And I'm like, yeah, I mean, it's almost like, you know, you don't know what color to make her dress. I guess I don't know why she has a dress, to be honest. I don't know why. I just wanted to clash. But yeah, I mean, it's so easy to troll, and they're so emotional. It's like they lack the ability to look at something and say, "Oh, I think those are just people trying to make me mad online. I shouldn't respond to it." But instead, they just do. It's like they're new to the internet. And I mean, I'm not even claiming to be internet expert, but I know that people will do that. I think her socks are not going to match. Let's make one of them blue and one of them another color. Or maybe they should be rainbow socks. I don't know.
They are talking about neo-Nazis in the chat. There was a story in Sweden today. Yeah, there's a lot of stories of immigrants killing people and raping people and things like that.
Well, yeah, like Sweden, they won't tell anyone because they want everyone to believe that Sweden is like the utopia, the feminist utopia. But there's like rape gangs that are just rampantly raping women there. It's really bad. But they'll never say anything because it'll make the narrative look bad. That's how politically invested feminism is in certain places. It will literally lie to people about what's going on so that other countries will adopt their ideology. I'm going to put some hair on her legs. I think
I was surprised that it was Sweden, the ones who created a center for men for domestic violence.
You were surprised?
Yeah, like it's like the last place in the world that it would seem to make something for men.
Yeah, no, it's true. That's
maybe it was for the same reasons of the suffragettes thing, that they cut their fundings because they were not spending the money equally in men and women.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe it was something like that. Like they have to comply with regulations.
No, that's true. It is. Maybe they did. They made. That's probably right. Also, Sweden is, at least for now, it's a pretty wealthy country, from what I understand. So they can afford it. That's one of the reasons why, and again, they can be more socialist than other places, because they have the money, and the United States doesn't. I mean, we've been printing money for a while now, and that's not really money. So we're using it as money, but it's not. We're not in very good shape. And one of the reasons because we don't really produce much, except entertainment. I think is the main thing the United States produces. But
I think that the United States movies are the only ones that people really watch. Like movies from any other place in the world are niche movies.
yeah, that's pretty much what I was thinking. Like,
We watch in Spain. We watch a lot more of United States movies than Spanish movies.
oh yeah, sure. Oops.
And that's maybe because Spanish movies are shit.
Well, yeah, maybe.
They are very bad.
You guys didn't make that one. There's like this video clip. I don't know if it's a Spanish movie or not. And it looks like it's out of an old movie from the 1970s. And this woman is in a bedroom. She's fighting with a guy, and she shoots him with a gun.
No. That's an
You know-
Indian movie, I think.
That's what?
I think it's Indian.
Oh, that's so great.
No, if you go into the 80s and 70s in Spain, almost all the movies are propaganda for Franco.
Oh, really?
Yeah. He made a movie.
He made a movie?
Yeah. It's called Raza. It's race in Spanish.
Yeah. Is your country
You can guess what's the thematic.
yeah. Is your country still pretty capitalist, or I mean socialist, or whatever? What's the what's the government like in Spain? This is my question.
I think right now it's the. I think it's the two dominant parties are almost the same, so it's like it doesn't matter really.
Yeah.
It's like in Spain, there's not many difference between left and right. It's like I don't know. There are some small political parties that you can say that have a different. It's called Podemos, and they are basically cultural Marxists, and they are growing in power. So I don't know. The next elections are gonna be fun. They have a lot of radical feminists in their ranks.
Radical feminists?
Yeah,
Oh boy.
like the senator, no, their ministry, the woman they will put as Ministry of Equality. It's a woman that she has videos saying that heterosexuality is evil,
Oh my god.
and she openly calls herself a feminazi and says that men are to blame for every evil in the world.
Oh no.
And
And
yeah,
she got elected?
no, there hasn't been elections yet,
Oh, okay.
but they are growing in power, so we don't know what will happen in the next elections.
Goodness.
They have a lot of backlash too, so I don't know. There's nothing for sure.
And yet, feminism is not the establishment. They're the underdogs that are punching up. That's what we keep being told. It's the patriarchy. It's not feminism, even though everywhere it seems where the opportunity to grow in power is, feminism does grow in power. I mean, it's really obvious, but
Yeah, in Spain, it's like the same. I think the feminism in Spain is the same as Gamergate. The government is extremely feminist, but the people is not. So we have some of the more Nazi laws up there.
but
Like
most people are quiet. They don't say much.
we have a law. It's called the domestic violence. No, what's the name? I'm trying to translate to English.
It's okay.
Well, it's a domestic violence law, and
Oh yeah.
the law, the base of the law is that the man is always the culprit. Always, it doesn't matter the situation. It's always the culprit. So in Spain, if you are a man, if you call the police and tell them my wife is beating me, the police comes to your house, arrest you as a man, and you have to leave your house because the law states that if there is a an accusation of domestic violence, the couple have to be separated. And because you are the culprit by law, you have to go from your house.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a lot of things like that in Spanish law.
Good Lord. Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. I have to move some things. All right, here's what I'm going to do. Copy of this layer down here. And make a copy of this one. What?
I have to go to dinner in a short time. So
Okay.
maybe we should stop the streaming.
Yeah. Yeah, that's fine. Want to stop now?
We can chill or something.
We can what?
Chill.
Chill? Oh, yeah. Well, if you guys, well, it's your channel. Why don't you chill first?
But I have my website is cucurullo.com. I do illustrations, erotic illustration, monster girls, monster hunter, League of Legends, and things like that. I have a Patreon. It's also Cucurullo. And well, I have a Facebook and a Twitter with the same name. It's the same name always. And I don't know. In 2 weeks, in 2 weeks, I'm going to release a new comic. So if you like Monster Girls, you can buy it. And I think that's it. That's everything.
Okay. I am Brian Martinez. I work with the Honey Badger Radio, and we're preparing to maybe start pretty soon a Honey Badger Let's Play kind of space. That's what I'm working on right now. It's called Honey Badger Arcade. You can find my own work at, I have 2 websites. One is brianmartinezillustrations.com, where I just have like illustration work that I've done. And then I have a webcomic at goodguycomic.com. It hasn't been updated in a little while, but I just got my computer back from the shop, so I'm going to be updating my pages again regularly. And I'm also starting a new comic pretty soon too. So look out for that. No, yeah, and I have a Patreon on there. I'd love it if I could quit my job and just make comics and do the Honey Badger Brigade. That would be awesome.
We all want that.
Yeah, we all want that. I mean, I like doing this stuff because I feel like it's very important. So if at all possible, that's what I like. Oh yeah. So I don't know. That's all I got.
Yeah. Well, it was a fun streaming, and we will try to make more of this in the future. So that's it. Goodbye.
All right. Bye.